So as far as I'm concerned, the WWE main roster for the women's division is currently garbage. And from what I've seen from NXT, I think NXT's women's division is much better. Now, I do want to preface, I do not watch NXT week to week. I have not watched a full NXT episode in, 8 years at this point. However, I do keep in touch with the promo segments that show up on YouTube. You know, the matches, I watch the PLEs, I see the promo segments, I see the character work of some of these guys, the ones that I care about at least on NXT. So I get a good feel for what's happening, and it's safe to say the NXT women's division is much better than the women's main roster on WWE, main television like Raw and SmackDown, PLEs, etc. So let's go ahead and I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think the NXT women's division is better than the main roster women's division. Now, the first reason is that NXT women's wrestlers are much more athletic and better in the ring on average than the WWE main roster for the women's division, okay? And this isn't really a debate. I'm going to give you 3 mid-carders from NXT: Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, and Sol Ruca. Let's compare those 3 in the ring and what they've done, with their selling, their high-flying moves, their agility, their advanced move sets. Let's compare that to 3 mid-carders, or basically there isn't really a mid-card in the main roster women's division because it's absolute garbage. It's just a bunch of jobbers or the top main eventers like Bianca, Rhea, etc. So let's look at the jobbers. Zoe Stark, Sonya Deville, Chelsea Green, Michin, Shayna Baszler, and Lyra Valkyria too, include her in there. She was just in NXT. All of those people compared to the 3 I named from NXT, who are better in the ring on average? Thank you. NXT, it's not close. Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruca can perform 10 moonsaults before Michin can perform 3 moves. Just on speed alone. They move faster. They sell better. They're more athletic. They're capable of doing more in the ring, which ultimately makes their matches more entertaining. This is absolute facts. And hot take, but even when it comes to the main event woman, like, your Bayley, your Liv Morgan, all of that stuff, and as far as I'm concerned, Roxanne Perez, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Sol Ruca, Thea Hale, etc., the list goes on. They are better in-ring performers at this current state than people like Bayley and Liv Morgan are. I'm sorry, that's just what I see from the eye test of watching these women. They are simply better. They can perform better moves. They're less botchy. Liv Morgan and Bayley move and wrestle in slow motion. It's embarrassing. Same thing with Naomi as well. She also wrestles in slow motion. But these NXT women's wrestlers, it's fast-paced, it's action-packed, it's energetic, it's entertaining. It's just better on the eyes to watch these matches from the NXT woman. It's that simple. Now to reason number 2, and this is going to be kind of a 2-parter, right, in a hot take. Shawn Michaels is better at booking women's wrestlers than Triple H is. And another part to this reason is the fact that Shawn books main event women's talent better than Triple H does. Let me explain. Similar to Mr. What do you want to talk about? Libations. Wheatley, I drink it neatly. The North Star of the rest. Similar to Mr. Freaking What Do You Want to Talk About, Cody Rhodes, the women's division on the main roster for the champion, specifically the main eventers, are booked like wimps and jobbers. Nia Jax is supposed to be this big annihilator, this big monster. And before she won the title, she destroyed Lyra and Queen of the Ring. She beat Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair on their way to Queen of the Ring. She had a great feud with Becky Lynch earlier on in the year and a good feud with Rhea Ripley, honestly. It was pretty solid. Probably one of Rhea's best feuds as champion. And then once she wins the belt, all of a sudden, she needs Tiffany Stratton, who's done nothing on the main roster besides win the Money in the Bank. She's done pretty much nothing compared to Nia Jax in her career as well. But she needs help from Tiffany Stratton to beat Bayley to win the championship. She needs help from Tiffany Stratton to beat Michin. How does an annihilator, a big monster, need help to beat Michin in a street fight? What? You make someone who used to be a monster and annihilator, you book her now like a weak jobber. Same thing with Liv Morgan. The only time she beats up Rhea Ripley is when, Rhea Ripley is injured in the storyline. At Bash in Berlin, Rhea Ripley looked so much more dominant to her. Liv Morgan looked inferior. She was running away. She was botching a couple moves. And even on Raw, she's always running from Rhea Ripley unless Rhea Ripley is hurt or she hits Rhea from behind. It's absolutely ridiculous. Why are the champions booked as losers and jobbers and wimps who are running away from the competition while they have the world championships? Meanwhile, Roxanne Perez, as much as I said, she's a jobber, all this stuff, she does have talent. And it's very easy to see her booking is different. When has she ever ran away from comp? She doesn't run away from her opponent. She faces him head on, like she talked to Jada Parker in the backstage segment and got slapped in the face. But she at least went up to Jada Parker and did something. You know what I'm saying? And she wrestles these matches against these women who are usually bigger than her. And she still comes out on top in these long, drawn-out matches. She actually fights back against the competition like a champion should. That's what makes her a dominant heel in NXT. Same thing with Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan, although she's a mid-card champion, she at least doesn't run away from comp. She wrestles banger matches and does all kinds of flips and moonsaults and all these athletic, great moveset moves, and she actually wins matches, and it's engaging. It's at least interesting to watch when the match is going on. They don't just run away from the competition or wait till they get injured or call on someone else to help them beat the competition. They're the champion. Start booking your champions as champions. Shawn Michaels is a better booker of women's main event champions than Triple H is. The facts are what the facts are. Deal with it. And reason number 3, and this might be the biggest reason, the NXT women are more entertaining and engaging than the main roster women on average, at least as far as I'm concerned. Now, obviously, you have a certain outliers to this. Rhea Ripley is incredibly over with the crowd. Bianca as well. Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair when she comes back, etc. But most of these women on the main roster are simply not as engaging and entertaining as the NXT women's roster. And obviously, the goons, the goonery that goes on, the people who are fans of Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, they're going to point out things from the NXT women's roster like, oh, she's so hot, Jada Parker's so hot, Roxanne's so hot, she bad, she thick, bro. To each their own, whatever. That's none of my business. But the fact is this. They are just simply more engaging and eye-catching because they have charisma, they are engaging, they are entertaining, and they're actually allowed to showcase their personality. And because of this, you have creative characters like a Jada Parker, whose gimmick is this overconfident, wrestler that's really athletic and all this stuff. You have Sol Ruca, who's got the surfer gimmick. Roxanne Perez is like this heel that doesn't back down from anyone. She's also overconfident. You get these different characters, and so you can differentiate the different woman on NXT. Sorry, there's an ambulance going by, but yeah, you can differentiate the different woman on NXT rather than on the main roster. You get people like Shayna Baszler, Unholy Union, the PFC, the Pure Fusion Collective, the Pure Jobber Collective. They come out there each week and get no reaction and no pop. Michin, no pop. Chelsea Green, no pop. Seth Rollins, no pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just a continuous thing because they all blend in. They're all jobbers who wrestle average matches, don't have personality, don't have characters, and don't have charisma. But on, NXT, you have different characters with actual gimmicks and personas and characters, which makes them more entertaining and engaging. And like I said as well, this also builds into them being more entertaining. They're more athletic. So obviously, when it comes to in-ring work and when you're doing like physical activities, they are going to just be more engaging and entertaining than most of the main women's roster. That's just the facts. And so overall, whether it's because of, the fans who are just like the way the NXT women look, or they think they're hot, or, they're more athletic, they're more entertaining, they have more charisma, more personality, all of these reasons contribute to the NXT women's division on average and for the most part being way more entertaining and engaging than watching the main roster woman, man. It's just the facts. I hate to say it, but the truth is what the truth is, man. Reason number 4, and this is very easy and simple, and this is simply the potential aspect of these NXT women's wrestlers. They're much younger, yet they're much more athletic and seem to be better in the ring than most of these women. And their promo skills, I will say this is important. The promo skills of most of these women in NXT are not very good. I'll give you that. They have charisma, but they're not good at cutting promos on the mic. But the good thing is they're so young, they have a lot of time to develop. Meanwhile, these main roster women can't cut promos and have nothing to say on the mic except for the same repeated lines. Rhea, I took your title. And Rhea Ripley comes like she's like, I'm gonna take my title back. It's the same stuff, you know what I'm saying? These women who are in NXT who are going to have years to develop on the mic and in the ring, they are ultimately going to come out more polished, and about within the next 3 to 5 years, they're going to be more polished than 90% of the main women's roster, And then when it comes back to the potential, someone like Julia, who I've never seen her wrestle before, but judging off what people say, apparently she's amazing, and she was in New Japan and all these other promotions doing great work. There's a reason why more people are excited to see her than the people who are excited to see like Shayna Baszler, the PFC, or Lyra Valkyria come to the main roster, or even Kiana James, any of these people, because there's just more hype and more intrigue to this. Plus, she has time to develop and build into something down the line as well in NXT and even on the main roster. You have potential from people like Roxanne Perez, who in her early years is already doing work that's better than Liv Morgan, who's a current world champion. You have the same thing with Jada Parker. She's got charisma, she's got talent, she's got the build, she's got the presentation to be a top woman star. Same thing with Sol Ruca. She still needs to develop, but she's going to get to that point where she will be a solid mid-carder in the main roster probably. Same thing with Kalani Jordan. There's just simply more potential because they're younger and their base talent is already higher than a lot of talent on the main roster. And reason number 5, this is another simple one. I made a video about this already. The women's main roster on WWE is garbage right now. There's no real great promo workers. The storylines are not engaging. Rhea and Liv fell off. That storyline is washed. You know what I'm saying? Put the fries in the bag, bro. You get what I'm saying? That storyline is washed. There's no other really engaging story going on. The only thing I really care about right now in the women's division is really the Bianca and Jade stuff versus Damage Control with Io and Kairi Sane. That's all I care about because it's a good feud, or not a good feud, I mean, it's going to be a good match, and Io and Bianca just put on one of the best women's matches of the year a couple weeks ago, and you also factor in that, their story, Bianca and Io, dates back to like a year or two from now, so it's going to be good, man, okay? This will at least be interesting, and I care because it's fresh. Liv and Rhea is no longer fresh, and when the baseline for women's main roster right now is bad promos, barely any TV time, and mediocre matches and bad stories, why in the world would I assume that the stuff that's coming up from NXT that's fresh, it's polished, it's getting better, and it's going to enter the main roster, why would I believe that that's going to be worse than the garbage that we're already getting? You can only go up from the bottom, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go any lower than the bottom, and I think that NXT will help in making WWE's main women's roster a lot better because, like I said, you can't go down from the bottom. But overall, those are 5 reasons I think that the NXT women's roster is way better than the main women's roster of WWE. And feel free to sound off in the comments. If you disagree or you agree with me, let me know. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Peace out.